Hi, I'm Dave. Why can't the EV critics accept the truth? I say this because recently I put out a news item which was about BP Pulse, and it basically said that BP Pulse is trying to buy the Tesla Supercharger network, and I suggested that the reason they wanted to buy it was that they have no experience whatsoever in installing hubs and chargers in general. They tend to just subcontract out everything. Most of their chargers don't even require planning permission. They're on an existing site, a petrol station, for example, and there's probably enough power to run a 50 kilowatt charger there anyhow. So they don't need to arrange power, they don't need to arrange planning permission, they don't need to arrange way leaves for permission over the land. And it's really easy to just get someone in to install a charger. That's just bolting it in effectively. 50 kilowatts, some people say that's a bit too much for just existing power. However, it doesn't mean that they actually get 50 kilowatts. I've never got 50 kilowatts out of a BP Pulse yet, where it's been on a forecourt. So it's possible that they will use whatever existing power they have and just downgrade it to whatever's available. And I suggested that BP Pulse has no experience and therefore is trying to buy the finished item. They want to buy all the supercharger network intact, ready to go. They also want to take on the staff who've been sacked, the whole department. They will have an absolute wealth of information about EV chargers, installation and everything else. They'll also have a lot of knowledge about the V4 chargers that Tesla make, because BP has also ordered $100 million worth of them. Quite how many that is, it's never been disclosed, but $100 million, that will buy a lot of chargers. And almost instantly, I was getting comments back saying, BP Pulse are a massive installer of EV chargers. What are you talking about? You're talking rubbish. Absolutely. And I read all the comments as well, as many as I can. Some videos get so many, I just don't have the time to read it. But I was reading quite a lot of these, and I thought back to the video where I actually, instead of me just talking all the time, when I start quoting statistics, I normally like to just put up a what I call an overlay on the screen so that you can see what information I'm using and where I got it from. So when I mentioned about BP Pulse, on this video and previous videos, I did actually put up the press release. And the press release said, I'm not going to quote it, but it said BP Pulse didn't install them, they didn't plan them, they didn't do anything. All they're doing is they're operating them. They had another company that did the electrics, had another company that did the install. They named the companies. I'm not going to do it because that's not the point of this video. But what I did was I found that information on Google a long time ago, months ago, when they first announced it. It was headline news. You type in BP Pulse, open up new hub at NEC, and there's masses of newspaper articles, websites, everything else, YouTube channels, all of them reporting this, and they're all proud of it. And BP were proud. They had their own site. NEC had their own site, which mentioned it. The installers, they have their own site, and they mentioned it. So all this is public information, and you can do it today. Just go on the internet now and just type into Google BP Pulse Hub NEC, and you'll get all this information. So when these comments come in from what I call the EV critics, the EV deniers, the EV haters, the Elon haters, whoever they are, why don't they just spend 5 seconds checking before they start complaining that I got it wrong? Now, I'm not trying to prove I'm right, because this goes a lot deeper than this. There's an awful lot of information out there that I put up on my channel, on various videos, and I try my very best to find not just one source, because that could be biased. I try to find 2 or 3 independent sources of the same news. So the BP Pulse one, for example, might have been the NEC one and the BP one. It was also ZapMap, I think. I try to find a variety. So I'm not biased, just cherry picking one news item to prove my point. I try on every data, every piece of information I give to show my sources and to show where you can get it. So why do these people keep on saying I'm wrong? It absolutely baffles me. It would indicate that either they just want to fight against me, and that's a possibility. And if that's your thing, great, go for it. All I'll do is I'll just email you back or comment you back with the data that I use and let you deny that as well. And I've got no problem if that's what you want to do. But it does raise a much deeper question, and that is, what information will, and I use a generic term here, what information will these people, these EV critics, these EV deniers, what will they accept if they won't even look on Google and try and find the facts? And if I show them the Google entry and they still say, oh yeah, but that's wrong, you have to start wondering, where do they get their news from? Where do they get their information from? Where do they get their actual data from? And you have to believe that most of it is actually ingrained in there, never going to shift it. You're always going to believe whatever you want to believe, and it doesn't matter how much evidence you produce or prove. It's false data, false evidence, false news, whatever it is. And this dates back over to America. I'm not going into that area. But there are some people who have a set belief and will fight like crazy to fight other people to prove that they're right and you're wrong, even though they could very easily go on Google and find out. BP themselves, in this case, have said, we didn't install them, we're just the operator. So can I ask these EV critics, just do a little bit of 5 seconds of basic homework. If you think BP is a big installer, just Google BP, do they install? Did they install NEC? And you'll get your answer instantly. And if you still want to fight, then you've got a serious issue. So they're working on out-of-date myths, they're locked into their mind, and they're never going to change. And so when recently I said, I had a lot of comments saying, when you're going to fight back against these people, I actually said, if that's their stance, that everything is locked into their mind and they will just call false news anything that I produce in data, I can't fight against that, and it's a waste of my time and effort. So this is more a message for some of the EV critics who might have a little bit of decency or ethics or whatever, but also for my regular viewers. I don't just cherry pick one bit of data and put that information out there. I do quite a bit of research, and I will put out my opinion based on that research, and where possible I will actually put in that data that I used. I can't put it all. Sometimes it might go to 10, 15, 20 different sites, and I'm trying to just prove or disprove a particular line of attack. So all I would say is, if you do just want to fight against the channel, just put a little note in it. You know, I'm a Wally. I'll fight against anything. Here's my opinion, and then we can pass over that one. I can get in touch with the people who post really good comments. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Dave.